let's continue with part C, okay? So open your books on page 88. We continue talking about animals and humans. In this part, faith in humanity. Okay, exercise 1, guys. Now I want you to think about the nicest thing the following people have done for you. Just think about it. A friend, a relative, a teacher or lecturer, or a stranger. Okay, so this is individually. Okay, I'm gonna give you 2 minutes. Think about the experiences you have with any of these people. Okay, guys, write your numbers before your names. Harry, Melissa, Vaca, Valda, Matia, what are your numbers? Okay, guys, let's see. Okay, let's work with Marieli. Marieli and Maria Jose, camera on. Okay, and one boy, let's talk to Harry. That is with camera off. Okay, cameras on. Even though we are virtually, you have to turn on your camera. Okay, let's talk to Marieli. So what's the nicest thing the following people have done for you? You can talk about one person. Okay, begin.
Okay, teacher. I'm going to talk about friends. Okay. When it was my birthday, my friends surprised me at the university and served me birthday with a chocolate cake, which is that I love.
Oh, very nice experience. Thank you, Marieli. Okay, let's continue with 11, Maria Jose.
Okay, teacher. I talk about a teacher. Okay. Okay, when I was a child, my favorite teacher, she said me that that I am a beautiful baby, but special it's because when when I was a child, I am or I was a um mm, how do you say gordita? Well,
Um,
too much.
a stranger helped me
So
reach an
for me,
address that I
was
didn't know,
special.
but we happened to be in the same nervy
Oh, very
place.
nice. So you were being bullied maybe by your
The,
classmates?
yes, teacher,
Yes.
so much.
Yeah, that's why. Oh, but very nice. Okay, so that improved your self-esteem maybe, right?
Yes, teacher. My teacher, I love you.
Oh, very nice. Okay, thank you, Maria Jose, for the information. Okay, let's continue with Harry, right? Okay, Harry.
Okay, a stranger helped me reach an address that I didn't know, but we happened to be in the same nervy place. But a stranger now it's my friend.
Really?
Yeah, teacher.
Okay, good. Okay, good information. Thank you. Okay, guys, so you see, we have to have faith in humanity because those people might help you in your life, no? Even a stranger like Harry, and now he's his friend. Okay, now let's continue with exercise 2. Here we are going to read about people who have done good stuff. Okay, so let's read the stuff. And at the same time, you can do, let's see, exercise 3. So while you are reading the story, you can answer the questions. So number 3, which story restores your faith in humanity the most? So we have 3 stories. No, you have to say why. 2, which other good news stories have you heard recently? Okay, so number 1 is specifically about the text. Number 2, about your own stories. Okay, 3 volunteers to read. You can raise your hands. So we have here good news, stories to restore your faith in humanity. Nowadays, most news headlines and stories are full of doom and gloom. Here we present our favorite good news stories from around the world. Okay, we have volunteers. One more person to read, guys. Okay, Marieli, you can read the first one. Okay, Harry the second. Who wants to read the last one? Volunteer. Okay, let's call
This is
Maria Jose.
this
No,
is
she
5 year
already
old.
practiced.
Murtaza
Okay,
Ahmadi,
Balda Matia, you read the
originated
last
from
one.
Afghanistan,
Okay,
probably
begin,
wearing a
Marieli.
plastic bag with
Okay,
and white
in
stripes.
2016, Jenny Stephen was planning her wedding, but was upset that her father wouldn't be walking her down the aisle. Sadly, he had died 10 years earlier, and his hair had been donated to another man, Arthur
Stripes.
Thomas. However, Jenny had the
Similarly to the
fantastic
superstition
idea of
of
inviting Arthur and asked him to walk her
Spanish,
down the
the name of his favorite soccer
aisle on
final.
her special day.
The four men
Arthur was deeply touched by Jenny's request and agreed. At the ceremony, Jenny pressed her hand
Viral.
hard against Arthur's chest and feeling the beat of her father's heart, told all the guests that the whole family was there. Jenny and Arthur remain close and they speak on the phone as often as they can.
Oh, this this is 5 years old Murtaza Ahmadi from Afghanistan, proudly wearing a plastic bag with blue and white stripes. similar to the soccer shirt of Argentina's national team. On his back is the name of his favorite soccer player, Lionel Messi. This photo went viral and as a result was seen by millions, including Messi himself. The Barcelona forward was highly impressed by the improvised shirt, so much so that he sent Murtaza a real signed one. Unsurprisingly, the little boy was utterly delighted, and things got even better when he was invited onto the field with Messi at a game in Qatar. He looked like they could hardly believe what was happening.
Um, in 2016, Dion Leonard went to China to run the grueling 250 kilometers Gobi Desert March. Halfway through the race, a stray dog appeared from nowhere and ran alongside Dion for more than 100 kilometers, an utterly extraordinary feat. Dion decided to adopt the dog, who he named Gobi, and take her home with him to Scotland. Soon after he made the decision, however, Gobi disappeared. It seemed highly unlikely that she would ever be found alive, but Dion strongly believed she would survive and organized a team of volunteers to find her. Eventually, she was found, and Dion took her home to Scotland.
Okay. Okay, guys. Good. Thank you for reading. Now, let's be careful with pronunciation. For example, heart. Okay, so don't say heart. In this case, you say heart. Okay, and this one,
Oh,
utterly, the same with Okay, utterly.
utterly.
Okay, so let's answer the questions. Question number 1 from exercise 3. Uh, what story restores your faith in humanity the most? Okay, let's talk to Maria Rene and Hector. Okay, Hector is there. Okay, so Maria Rene, which of the stories restores your faith in humanity and why?
For me, it was the first story because even her dad died. In a way, he was in the wedding with his child.
Okay, yes, that's it. Thank you. Okay, what about Hector?
The last one, teacher, because we can see that there are humans that still care about the animals. That is it's an important thing. It's part of the humanity, right?
Okay, good. Yes, so the three stories are very nice, especially the dog one, right? And the father's one. Okay, now other stories that you might know. Which other good news stories have you heard recently? Okay, tell me about good stories because recently I heard mostly bad stories. So let's talk to Melissa and let's see who did not speak today. Okay, Michelle. Melissa and Michelle. Okay, Montana, right? Okay, Melissa, good stories that you have heard recently or maybe that you remember from the past. Okay, where is Melissa? Okay, so while Melissa's thinking, Montano, your turn.
Okay, teacher. Um, I don't know exactly to person story, but I think that I read in on internet one one time, and is that I don't remember in what city, but was about that a man that use a Santa's custom, and give and he gives gift to kids, um and because he wants to be the kids happy, and for all the kids that don't have the money to parents that don't have money to pay for the okay, to and to pay for gifts.
Okay, good. So it was a stranger that disguised himself as Santa Claus and then gave gifts to the kids, right?
Yes, yes.
Oh, yes. Oh, that's a very nice story. Okay, let's talk to another person. Okay, Laura, I believe that Laura just connected, or did you connect before, Laura?
Good morning, teacher. Yes, I just did it a moment before.
Okay, Laura. Come on, she's waking up already. Okay, so let's continue because Melissa disappeared. Maybe her connection is not good. Now, here we have some words. Look at the words in yellow, highlighted words: heart, deeply, hardly, highly, utterly, again, highly unlikely. Let's look at the words that are after those words. Now, for example, Jenny pressed her hand hard against Arthur's chest. Arthur was deeply touched by Jenny's request. The Barcelona forward was highly impressed. He looked like he could hardly believe what was happening. An utterly extraordinary feat. And here we have, it seemed highly unlikely she would be found alive. So these are adverbs that we can use. But when do we use them? We have different explanations for this. So let's look at exercise 4. Look at the underlined adverbial phrases in the article. Write them in the chart in the correct row. Do they come at the beginning, in the middle, or at the end of a clause? So for this, you have to read the text again. Check out if they come at the beginning of the sentence, in the middle, or at the end of the sentence. So, for example, time. Which adverb is about time? Example and position. So you write the sentence here from the text. Just copy the sentence and say the position, beginning, middle, end. Okay? So then we have an adverb of place. So what kind of adverb of place do we have? Write the example and the position. Okay, guys, I'm going to give you 4 minutes to do this. Okay, let's work. I'm gonna check with the specific students again. Okay, Melissa's back, but I believe that she's okay. We begin with okay. Clarita. Okay, Clarita hasn't spoken. Clarita number 12. Okay. Then we continue with Melissa. Okay, Laura. Madeline. Okay, who else did not speak? Merisi. Okay. Okay, Merisi volunteer. Good. Okay, guys, let's work with 12. Clarita, what is the
Okay.
other time example?
With time, I think is on her special day and is in the end, the time.
Okay, we're gonna check. Remember, we are talking about the highlighted words. Highly, hardly, hard, etc. Okay.
Oh, teacher, I'm so sorry.
Melissa, the other one.
Is Dean Leonard went to China utterly?
Okay, and what is the position? Is it at the beginning, in the middle, or at the end?
At the end, teacher?
Okay, at the end. Now, let's continue. Next one.
Teacher, I didn't yet. I think I didn't understand pretty good the exercise.
No, it's okay because I checked right now. Time on her special day, it was okay. Now, what about the other manner? What example do you have, Laura? What did you write? Just say it. Okay, I believe Laura disappeared. Come on, Laura. Okay, what do we have in 8? Flores, right? Madeline. Okay, Madeline, what do you have for frequency?
As often as they can, and the position at the end.
Yes, as often as you can. Okay, let's continue with the last one. Comment.
And comment example, unsurprisingly, the position is the beginning.
Yes, the beginning. Okay, good job. Here is right underlined phrases. Okay. Clarita did well. Okay, so it's okay, Clarita. So there you have. So we have different kinds of adverbs. For example, in time, on her special day, at the end of the sentence. Place, at a game in Qatar. So it's also at the end. Manner, proudly, in the middle. As often as they can, at the end. And surprisingly, beginning. Okay, so today we're practicing adverbial clauses. So as you see, we have different kinds of adverbs: time, place, manner, frequency, comment, and they can be placed in different positions: at the end, in the middle, at the beginning. Okay, now let's practice more. Okay, so today we practice adverbs and adverbial phrases. What are adverbs or adverbial phrases? An adverbial phrase, also referred to as an adverb phrase, is a multi-word phrase that takes the role of a verb in a sentence. An adverb describes a verb, an adjective, or even another adverb. A multi-word adverbial phrase can further modify an adjective, adverb, and a verb. So these adverbial phrases modify an adjective, adverb, or verb. And these other phrases can answer the questions how, when, where, how, and say how something was done and show in the following other example. Now, let's look at here, for example, other phrases that show when. Okay, as fast as possible, anytime, today afternoon, after the break, where, at home, around the sun, by the mailbox. How, quite interesting, doing well, enjoyable. Again, how, to record for a statement, for committing crime. So you see, all these other phrases answer the questions when, where, how, and again, how in this part. Other examples, if you see here, all this one is an adverbial phrase. Meet her where? At the Bridge Hotel when this afternoon. So all this is an adverbial phrase. The same, better than that. You need to clean your house. How? Better than that. He completed the task assigned. How? As quickly as possible. So if you see, we are answering questions how, when, where, etc. And here we have a very long one. To avoid disturbing the sleeping students, David chose to tiptoe to bed. Okay. Now, let's memorize the adverbs plus adjectives. Now, this is what we call collocation. Some specific adverbs go together with adjectives, as in the examples here. For example, we can use highly with successful. Highly successful. So you have to memorize this. Highly successful, highly profitable, highly unusual, highly probable, highly effective, highly controversial, highly unlikely. And then you have the other example, highly recommended. Okay? So in this part, we have highly. Another example with deeply. Deeply unhappy, deeply regret, deeply divided. So if you see, we have a specific adverbs with a specific adjectives. It doesn't mean that you will use deeply with other adjectives. No, we use with these specific ones. Another example with utterly. Utterly furious, utterly fantastic, utterly beautiful, like that. Again, strongly. In this case, adverb plus verbs. I strongly suggest. I strongly recommend. I strongly dislike. Strongly object. So again, these are collocations that you have to memorize. Okay. And here we have other examples with absolutely. Absolutely, and you have many examples here. I will try to share these pictures with you later. Absolutely wrong, absolutely miserable, and so on. Now, adverbs with two forms and different meanings. We also have adverbs with two forms. For example, late and lately. The train arrived late. So late after the expected time. Lately means recently, so it has another meaning. I haven't visited Tunisia lately, so recently. Let's look at another example that it's, let me see, hard. Okay, this one that you have on the text. We work hard all day. Hard means with strenuous effort. We could hardly hear him. Hardly means almost not. So they could almost not hear him. So you see, hard and hardly are different adverbs. They have a different meaning. In this case, hard means with lots of effort, and hardly almost not. Okay. Position of adverbs. As you saw in the text, we have adverbs that come in initial position, such as common adverbs, for example, luckily, nobody got hurt, unfortunately, we arrived late. However, when you use adverbs, remember to place a comma. Luckily, comma, nobody got hurt. We also have the adverbs of frequency. Sometimes, usually, normally. Sometimes he can be stubborn. Usually, we eat out. But here, be careful that we don't use a comma. No, notice no comma. However, in the others, yes, there is a comma. Adverbs of time. Just before the wedding, comma, they split up. Adverb of manner, for example, carefully. Carefully, she opened a box. In the mixed position, we have adverbs of manner, such as carefully, seriously. Adverbs of frequency, usually, hardly, ever. Most other adverbs, just, already. And finally, final position, we also have adverbs of manner. Very quickly, marvelously, adverbs of place, in England, anywhere, and adverbs of time, yesterday, soon. Okay? Okay, guys. So those are the adverbs that we can use in adverbial phrases. Now let's look at the book again. Okay. Now, B. Now look at the highlighted words in the article. Choose the correct option to complete the rules. Now, in this part, we go to the highlighted ones. Deeply, utterly, with extreme adjective. So which one do we use with extreme adjective? Remember that we have adjectives. We have the normal adjectives and we have the extreme adjectives. For example, let's say nice. Okay. Good looking. And we have gorgeous. Okay. Good looking, let's say it's a simple adjective. But gorgeous, this is an extreme adjective. No? Good looking, let's say it's 5/10. Gorgeous is 10/10. So that's why this is an extreme adjective. The same. Cold is a simple adjective. But if we have freezing, this is an extreme adjective. Okay, so this is the question. which adjectives, a simple one or an extreme one, has the word deeply or utterly? Not the same here. Deeply or highly is used with feelings and emotions. Which one? Okay, so read the text again. Look at the highlighted words in yellow and answer this question. Choose the correct options.
Ten point five. 1.
Mistreat.
C.
Okay, guys, let's check with volunteers
Me,
to
teacher.
participate.
Yes, Clarita.
Okay, Clarita, you can do 1, 2. Another volunteer. Okay, Hector, 3, 4. Okay. Hector, 3, 4. Okay, begin, Clarita.
Yeah. Is it use utility with extreme adjectives And number 2, use deeply with feelings and emotions.
Okay, very good.
Use highly with positive words and probability. And hard and hardly have different meaning.
Yes, very good. Okay, guys, check your answers again. Okay, so we use utterly with extreme adjectives. So we say utterly gorgeous, utterly freezing, utterly boiling, no? Deeply with feelings, deeply shocked, deeply annoyed, highly with positive words with probability, no? And probability. And hard and hardly have a different meaning. Okay. Now we can go to page 129, vocabulary.
2. Overheard.
This is what you have to memorize.
F.
At least you have some list of
3.
adverbs
Rejuvenate.
that we can use. Okay, let's see which part is this.
4.
Okay.
Overcharge.
Sensi, adverb collocations.
B. 5. Restore. D.
Okay, so here we have. Write the
6.
correct adverb
Misbehave.
with the
E.
adjective plus verb. Right? For example, highly, strongly, bitterly, widely. Okay, we can do this together, guys. So what do you think number 1 is? Okay, number 1. Widely.
Bitterly.
Bitterly. Very good, Maricruz. Yes. Bitterly. Bitterly disappointed. Bitterly regret. Bitterly resent. So you see, we use bitterly with negative adjectives and negative verb. A negative, now disappointed. Okay. 2.
Highly.
Highly.
Highly. Very good. Highly unlikely. Highly probable. Okay. What about 3?
Widely.
Widely.
No. Okay. In this case, it's just strongly. Yes. I strongly believe. Do you remember that example? I strongly oppose. Okay. And finally, widely. Widely believed, known, or used. Okay. So, what does it mean again? Collocations that these specific adverbs go with those specific adjectives and verbs. That's why you have to memorize them. Okay? That is the only way to remember. Memorize by heart. Okay, let's check out the pronunciation.
Teacher, in which page is that exercise? I couldn't find.
This is page 129.
Okay, I think they will want to. Thank you.
Yes. Okay.
$10.10. Bitterly disappointed, deeply ashamed, downright rude, highly likely, incredibly expensive, unbelievably cheap, mildly offensive, potentially fatal, seriously wounded, severely damaged, strongly believe, utterly astonishing, vaguely familiar, widely believed.
So these are specific examples with some of the adjectives, right? Okay, let's listen.
10.10.
Bitterly disappointed, deeply ashamed, downright rude, highly likely, incredibly expensive, unbelievably cheap, mildly offensive, potentially fatal, seriously wounded, severely damaged, strongly believe, utterly astonishing, vaguely familiar, widely believed.
Okay, so let's check. Volunteers to repeat the words to practice so that I can check again. 2 people to read. Okay, come on, guys. Who wants to read?
Me,
Okay,
teacher.
okay, we have Marieli, Harry, and Laura. Okay, we begin with Laura, please. The first group.
Bitterly disappointed, deeply ashamed, downright rude, highly likely, incredible expensive, unbelievably cheap, mildly offensive.
Yes, continue. Mildly. Let's be careful with this one. Okay. Continue, Harry, the second group.
Potentially fatal, seriously wounded, severely damaged, strongly believed, utterly astonishing, vaguely familiar, widely believed.
So we will pronounce this one like vaguely, no? Vaguely familiar. Now, before we continue, whenever you write or you read these words, let's try to separate a little bit. For example, bitterly, deeply, highly, like that. That's why here, vaguely, widely. Okay? Okay, continue, Laura.
Se colgó.
Laura, we cannot listen. Okay, try to speak again, Laura. Let's see.
I think I can. Sorry, I think I can't listen to you very well. Could you repeat, teacher?
Okay, you can read. It's your turn to read.
Okay. Bitterly disappointed, deeply ashamed, downright rude, highly likely, incredibly expensive, unbelievably cheap, mildly offensive.
Good job, guys. Okay, so you see, mightly. No? Try to separate this one, mightly, like that. Okay, so again, the only way to remember this is to memorize all these adjectives. I believe that you will have this part in the written test, so memorize. Okay? Now, continue with exercise 2. Complete the sentences with an adverb from the chart. Okay, after you finish, volunteers to participate.
Wait, teacher.
Okay, girls, let's finish first, please. Okay.
Pero yo soy... Well, let's check. Let's begin with number 8. Madeleine, 1, 2. Marieli, 3, 4. Okay. Maria Rene, 5, 6. And Medici,
7, 8. Okay, begin.
Okay, I thought the movie was just mildly amusing, but everyone else thought it was hilarious. It's utterly pointless trying to get a driver license. I know I failed the test again. So, the restaurant was dirty and the food was disgusting. It's highly unlikely that we'll go back. Number 4, a mosquito bite can be dangerous and even potentially fatal.
I strongly believe that most government programs are designed to help us. 6. I hope Dan will be okay. He was seriously injured in a motorcycle accident.
Number 7 is we all bitterly resent having to work every weekend. 8, I'm vaguely familiar with what's going on in the world, but I don't read the newspaper very often.
Okay, well done, guys. Now check your answers again.
Pero yo soy Goku y tú Goka.
Now, let's continue working and let's go to grammar practice on page 113.
Pero yo soy diamante y tú diamanta.
Okay, so here we have some explanation related to the grammar, and I want you to go directly to this part so that we can check the adverbs with two forms. Okay, so here you can read this information to complete the exercises 1 and 2. Of course, it's about all the page, but again, memorize this as well. No? Hard, a lot of effort. Hardly, almost not at all. Fair, according to the rules. Fairly, moderately. Fine, quite well. Finely, in small pieces, and so on. If there appears to be an exercise related to this, remember to read this part. Okay? Okay. So, number 1, choose the correct words to complete the sentences. Okay, continue with number 2. Rewrite each sentence with the adverbs in parentheses in the correct position. There may be more than one answer. So place the adverbs in the correct position. For example, here we have very rarely at work. So place them where it belongs, beginning, middle, or end. Okay? Okay, guys, so I'm going to give you 15 minutes to do these two exercises. If you're wondering when the break will be at 9:30. Okay? Okay, guys, so let's go to your groups. You're going to do these activities in groups. Help each other, work with your partner, compare your answers, speak. Okay, guys, go to your groups.
Hola, chicos.
Hola.
Día. O mal día, no sé, pero hola.
Días nomás.
¿Comencemos?
Ya.
Hello.
Hi.
Esa cara, María José.
Yo estaba peor, por eso no prendía mi cámara. Y me puse chulo.
Ay, no, ya. Ni me he peinado yo. Metí una pasadita y ya está, ya. Ya. Comencemos. Fuera.
Mira.
Ay, ya.
Use correct words. Ah, no, hay que reescribir, ¿no? Es el 2 el que hay que hacer, ¿no?
No, tenés que
El 1 y el 2 que sepa.
elegir aquí, tenés dos opciones, hijito. ¿De qué hablas?
No, el 2, digo. Yo escuché que hagamos el 2. Reescribir las oraciones. Bueno, no sé.
No, el 1 es, tienes ahí tus opciones, digamos, y el
Claro,
2.
ese está fácil. Pero entonces hay que hacer los dos.
Great. Ajá, el 2 es.
Los dos, creo.
Pero
No son los dos.
empecemos por el 2 y ya con el 1
Ya,
chequeamos
ya.
rápido.
Sí.
Un
Exactamente.
vaivén.
Son buenos. Por eso soy químico.
Ok, ya.
Rewrite sentence with the adverbs in parentheses in the preposition. I check personal emails.
Adword very rarely, ¿no?
I very rarely check, creo. No, come on. I very rarely check personal emails at work. Sí, según yo.
Muy bien, Héctor, porque nosotras creo que no estamos para pensar ahorita, ¿no? De María José.
Ajá. Ni idea.
Y eso que no
Estamos
desayunado.
Eso, nosotros estamos en el pensamiento del desayuno.
Yo tampoco, pues imagínate si desayuno. Ya.
Ya, a ver cómo era. I very
rarely check.
¿Qué más? Lo demás. Y el
Personal emails at work.
Ah, ya.
Bien. Está ahí en la cocina. Puse 3. 2 o
No hablé
3.
de cocina, oye, hace hambre.
Ahí en la cocina lo puse.
Está este.
Soy ese, mañana gringa salió mi familia. No daría igualito. Emails at work. Yeah. I will not check new. The classroom is a mess because the students forget to clean their desks.
Ya, para mí el nearly always es después de los estudiantes. Because the students nearly
No estoy
always
seguro, te
forget.
mentiría.
Ah, yo sí.
No sé si antes o después, pero por ahí va. A ver.
No va antes, o sea, va después de los estudiantes, va eso.
Ya, pero y la primera palabra va al principio, ¿no ves?
Ajá, al principio.
Sí, la primera en el principio va.
Es the classroom, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, the classroom.
Ajá, así.
No.
Sí, unfortunately, casi siempre viene al principio. Creo que nunca lo he visto a nadie, creo.
Ya, al principio no sé.
Ya, pero la otra es la que no sé. O sea, no sé si es antes o después de students.
Es después de
Es
student.
después de students.
Sí, puede ser. Ya, vamos a hacerlo así.
La primera sé que está primero seguro, pero la otra no mucho, la verdad. Unfortunately. ¿Y qué van a desayunar? Para desear.
Ajá.
Oye, sería because a student nearly always forget.
Ajá.
¿Así?
Sí, 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 sí.
Ajá.
Dicen.
Ya. Hoy hay que hacerle enojar a la teacher preguntándole si ya le pagaron.
Creo que ya te está escuchando.
No.
Solo por si acaso. Ahí como
Se
dato.
escucha, oye, ya.
Ahí como dato.
Vaya dato perturbador.
La teacher. Qué rico. ¿No? Y después, ¿por qué te odian, güey?
Ya la
Cara de
3.
Harry ahí. Ya estaba como grande.
Se pasa, oye. Ya vamos, la 3.
Escribe bien. Ya, ok.
Niño chico y larga la oración en cuerno. Always forget.
Está mal, a ver, de issues.
Ese
Ah, no sé.
Fairly creo que es al final.
No sé ni qué es fair, la verdad. O sea, no me acuerdo.
Cercanamente, creo que.
No, yo sé como algo de, según yo, algo de justo, pero a ver, fair, justamente. Equitativamente.
Ujú.
Ya, según yo, después de Delft,
¿De cuál?
the
Ah,
issue
ya.
has been dealt fairly with efficiently until now.
No.
O,
Ah, sí.
no sé, bueno, el until now puede ser al principio también, pero no sé. No sé. El until now otra vez estoy dando.
No, el until now siempre va al final.
No sé, igual a mí.
No sé, no sé, no sé, no sé. Eso no te puedo pedir, pelear. Pero el fairly sí va después del dealt, porque el dealt es trato, está siendo tratado justo, equitativamente. A ver, until
The
now the
issue
issue has been dealt.
Deja tu olla, ya
has
está,
been
ya. Ya
fairly,
está tu
así.
olla, ya.
Dealt fairly with efficient.
Puse agua igual.
Until now. Puede ser al final, until now.
Al final, ¿no? ¿Eh?
Ujú.
Sí, al
Ya vamos a poner
final
al
va.
final. Pre.
Mm, ya.
I had forgotten to turn off the heat.
Ese
I
stupidly
have for-
al inicio
Ajá,
sería.
Puede ser.
Puede ser.
Estúpidamente.
Sí, estúpidamente. No sabía que existía esa
Supongo.
palabra.
Ya.
Mm, mm.
Y en The Living Room al final.
Sí.
Estupidillo.
En la otra podría ser the child obviously distracted her victim intentionally.
Dame un
O
rato,
adelante, obviously.
estoy acabando.
Sí, creo que sería como el anterior. El primero al principio y
Adelante.
el segundo al final. Ajá.
Mm.
Obviamente el ladrón distrajo a su víctima intencionalmente. Podría.
Sí, vuela. Sí queda, sí queda.
Pero el intencionalmente va lo último, ¿seguro?
Que estamos sin desayunar, no estamos seguros de nada.
Ya, a ver.
Yo solo estoy seguro de que tengo hambre. She has dogs with the criticism. Nunca puedo decir ni racismo ni las críticas. Criticisms. Racism.
Ya, a ver, las 6. Uf, Crazy Sims.
Mira, sale.
Una surprise.
Escuchen, pues.
Okay.
The thief obviously distracted her victim intentionally.
¿Verdad?
Obviously, va de ladrón.
Después de Tiff.
Ujú.
¿Cómo sabes?
Y el intentionally al último.
Ya, ok.
Bueno, lo
¿Y
cambio.
qué fue Harry? ¿Se durmió?
A ver su olla.
Fue por eso que se están cociendo sus huevos.
Su huevito, pues.
Ya, apure.
¿Qué pasa? Ya, y el otro, según To My Surprise, puede ser al principio.
No es al principio, más bien. Hay un ejemplo ahí que está al principio.
Y el Rationally Well after the death.
¿A dónde está? ¿A dónde está eso, María José?
En el segundo al medio está.
El cuadrito a lo último, ¿no?
Ajá.
Hace frío, me caigo.
To My Surprise entraría al medio entonces. What's the tip?
No, no.
Al principio.
Mira el otro con su colcha.
Y en campo. Yo pensé que estaba sentado, hijo, ni parece que.
Estoy sentado, güey. ¿O no?
Pero pues una silla, no pensé que estuvieras en mi cama.
Oye, es she to my... ¿Cómo era el 6? Al
To
principio
my
tú.
surprise.
Pero si he hecho, abrí mi ojo, ya estaba conectado en Zoom, no sé ni cómo.
To my prize, she has no, ¿eh?
To my surprise.
She has
still.
Ajá, ahí el Reasonably Well, ¿no?
Ajá.
Ok.
To My Surprise, she
Mira,
has
se puso a desayunar ahí enfrente de nosotros.
Ya, asco, a ver. La persona.
Oye, que
She
Iba a
has
hacer eso, pero no me dio tiempo.
well, ¿no?
Sí. Mi desayuno está en mi sala todavía.
el razonablemente bien va después de She has there.
Dealt, yeah.
Sí, ahí va.
A ver, ya pedían críticas, a ver. Criticisms. SM al final me
Criticisms.
Como que lo va llevando. Deal viene de deal, de tratar, de llevar, de sobrellevarlo.
Ya, sigamos, no son 10.
Ya, las 7 ahora.
Reasons. The lead guitar of the band we saw is stolen. Ah, no sé.
Por 2.
Porque awfully según es como desastroso. No sé. Vamos a
Pero
ver.
lead guitar sería el líder.
Sí. Ya no sé, el 8. La
Sí,
verdad
el
no
8, oye, muy chino está eso.
sé. What's the show?
El 8. Ya, me chipé.
The night before last. Antenoche sería. The night before last.
Creo que ese sería el primero. The night before last, was that you?
No. Esta comenzamos con preguntas, pues.
No, pero hay que rellenarla.
Claro.
Entonces sería como que. No, antes.
Sí, yo creo que empieza con the night before last, la verdad. Was that you I saw in the last row on the movie theater? Dice, anteanoche eras vos el que vi en la última fila del cine. Bueno, Ari, ¿qué te puedo decir?
Sí, igual lo veo así que inicia con eso. La anterior noche.
Bueno.
Yo voy a hacer así, punto. Se queda así, le entendí. La 7, no lo entiendo todavía.
¿Y en The Last Row sería al final?
Claro, después de I saw.
En la 7 me sale el clearly adelante.
¿Y dónde bocado, Mary?
Aquí pero en Google. O sea, pero está claro, digamos, eso va adelante, pero el otro, hopefully.
Es que según yo, hopefully, ¿qué? Según yo, es desastroso, feo, malo. Claro.
Ay, miren. Miren su pantalla.
Ay, no, miércoles. Muy dice.
Grito de hombre.
Is hopefully talent. Puede ser hopefully ahí. ¿Cómo era el otro? ¿El 8?
The night
¿Dónde
before
va?
last, was that you? Y después el
Adelante,
último.
The night. Ya.
Ajá.
Y el otro, al
Al
último.
final, después del show. In the last.
¿Qué?
La 9.
A ver, espera, the last night before last, was that you I saw?
In the last row.
9, Tata Gem.
I drove. Ay, no sé, güey.
I drove.
Sería here I drove really quickly. Sería.
Ya, la 10. Fortunately, the train has.
Pendejo.
Okay, everybody's here. Okay, good. To participate, let's begin with exercise 1. So this is the last class to participate. So participate as much as you can. Okay, wait. Okay, there. Okay, so each student will do 2 activities. Okay, so 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7, 8. 9, 10. Okay, Marieli, you can do 1, 2, Batia, 3, 4, Harris, 5, 6.
More, teacher. We are
7,
two here.
8. Okay, Clarita, you can do 9, 10. Okay, begin, Maria.
Okay, teacher. She hardly ever goes out anymore. I try hard, but I always fail. Number 2, I haven't seen John lately. And they arrived late and missed the show.
Continue.
Number 3A. Everything is going wrong today. 3B. I was wrongly accused of lying. 4A. Do you live near here? 4B. Are you nearly finished?
Okay, number 5. Chop the garlic fine before you tried it. Fried it. We get along finely, despite having a few arguments.
Continue 7, 6.
6. Okay, 6A. Citizens of both countries are allowed to move free across the border. B. Students can get into the museum freely.
Number 7A. The thing she loved most about him was his sense of humor. B. The course is mostly about finance, but we also study history. Number 8A. I opened the door wide, but I still couldn't see anyone. B. Opinions vary widely on how the economy is doing.
Okay, night 10. The kite was flying high above the rooftops. B, I can highly recommend it my driving instructor. Number 10, we get along fairly well, but we're not that close. And B, the team didn't deserve to win since they didn't play fair.
Yes, correct. Okay, guys, the answers are on the screen. Check them again. And you have this one. This is 10. A, fairly. B, fair. Okay, guys, ready, right? Now, let's continue with exercise 2. In exercise 2, I will show you the answer so that you can check yours. Okay, guys, check your answers. Okay, guys, let's continue. So you will have 20 minutes break. We're gonna divide the break 20 minutes first and then 15 minutes later. Okay? Okay, guys, 20 minutes break. When counting, you can see the watch. So you come back. Okay, guys, come back in 20 minutes. Don't disconnect, just stay connected. Just turn off your cameras.
¿Conoce esa película del sillón que mata? Año 2023, gran año para el cine. Se estrenaron peliculones. Según Letterboxd se estrenaron más de 35.000 películas. Una banda, imposible darlas todas. Pero bueno, hubo de todo. Hubo amor, desamor, baile, terror, caos, fantasía, héroes, villanos, personajes nuevos, personajes viejos, personajes icónicos, personajes históricos, personajes basados en videojuegos, explosiones nucleares, animales drogados, Scorsese, Wes Anderson, Sofía Coppola, Cifrón triunfando en Hollywood, Nicolas Cage sacado, Denzel Washington tranquilo tomando un té, un tornado de fuego, un tornado de animales, Winnie Pooh asesino, Pinochet vampiro, Ita contra unos robots, huelgas, polémicas, 8 películas de superhéroes, 9 películas con tiburones, más de 20 secuelas y 9 películas que para mí son las mejores del año. Sin más preámbulos, empiezo. Por eso hoy, entre los resumos y nomás, las mejores y peores películas del 2023. Puesto 9, Babylon. Sí, esta película es del año pasado, pero se estrenó el 15 de diciembre, así que prácticamente es de este año. Además, la vi después de hacer el video de mejores películas 2022, así que tengo todo el derecho de ponerla en este top. Babylon nos narra las aventuras y desventuras de un grupo de actores de...
Okay, you can go back to page 89. Okay, exercise 5. Now, in this part, we practice pronunciation. Okay, word stress. Listen to the sentences below. Underline the stressed syllables in the words in bold. So only here, for example, potentially, which syllable is stressed? No? The first, po, the second, the third, or the last one. So which one is stressed? You just underline, or you can circle so that you can notice. No? Potentially, no? Or 10, like that. Okay, guys, so let's listen to the sentences.
Ten 10.12. 1,
I think that taking Gobi to a different country is potentially damaging to her health.
2,
I'm not surprised he came to her wedding. Humans are naturally kind and helpful.
3,
I sincerely hope that Messi stayed in touch with the boy.
4, running 250 kilometers is undoubtedly impressive, but it's also utterly pointless. 5,
Presumably, Mr. Thomas was already in touch with Jenny before she asked him.
10.12. 1,
I think that taking Gobi to a different country is potentially damaging to her health.
2,
I'm not surprised he came to her wedding. Humans are naturally kind and helpful.
3,
I sincerely hope that Messi stayed in touch with the boy.
4, running 250 kilometers is undoubtedly impressive, but it's also utterly pointless. 5,
Presumably, Mr. Thomas was already in touch with Jenny before she asked him.
¿Ya no hay arroz allá?
Okay, guys, so let's check. First word, potentially. Which word is stressed or which syllable? Potentially.
I think it's 10.
10.
Yeah.
Very good, Marieli. Yes, 10. Number 2, naturally. Okay, what do you think?
2.
Okay, let's go. 2, not really.
I think
Listen.
it's at the beginning. Natural.
Nah, yes, the first, nah. Okay, naturally, right? Okay. Now, what about the next one? Sincerely. Sincerely.
I think
In the
zero.
middle.
The middle. Sincerely. Okay. The next one. Undoubtedly. Undoubtedly.
In the middle.
Doubt.
Doubt. Okay. Yes, doubt. Okay, this one, otherwise you will break. Now, afterly. Afterly.
At.
Yeah. Okay, good job. And the last one, presumably. Presumably. Two. Okay. Yeah. You have the stress in those syllables. So let's see. Potentially, naturally, sincerely, undoubtedly, utterly, presumably. Okay. Volunteer to read. Okay, I need 3 people to read. Just reading in this part. And be careful with the stress. Okay, so Medici 1, 2. Marieli 3, 4. One more person, number 5. Okay, Melissa, you can read number 5. Okay, begin, Medici.
Okay. I think that taking Gobi to a different country is potentially damaging to her health. I'm not surprised he came to her wedding. Humans are naturally kind and helpful.
I sincerely hope that Messi stayed in touch with the boy. Running 250 kilometers is undoubtedly impressive, but it's also utterly pointless.
Presumably, Mr. Thomas was already in touch with Jenny before she asked him.
Good. Okay, be careful. Pronunciation. Touch. Asked. No, remember, we disappear these kinds of sounds and we pronounce like asked. Asked him. Okay, guys, now
10.13.
listen to short 6 short
I'm so
conversations.
angry.
They use a
Why?
word from each
What's
box
happened?
below to complete the
I
sentence.
parked my car on the
So you
street
will
last
use
night,
one word
and when I
from
went to get
here
it this
and one
morning,
word.
it had been broken
For
into and
example,
vandalized.
vividly
Oh no.
damaged.
How
not
bad
like
is
that.
it?
Okay.
Well, they scratched a line along the
Of course,
doors,
they are not
they've
gonna
smashed the windshield,
specifically
and they've even
mention the
slashed one of the
words.
tires.
According
It's
to the
undrivable.
situation, you have to use the specific adverb
2.
with the other word.
10.13. 1.
I'm so angry.
Why? What's happened?
I parked my car on the street last night, and when I went to get it this morning, it had been broken into and vandalized.
Oh no, how bad is it?
Well, they scratched a line along the doors. They've smashed the windshield, and they've even slashed one of the tires. It's undrivable.
2.
Have you seen the sports news today?
No, why? Was there a game?
No, it's all about soccer player transfers. You know, which team is buying which player?
Oh, okay. So what's the news?
Well, apparently, Real Madrid is buying that midfielder from Chelsea for 100 million euros.
How much? That's crazy.
I know. There's way too much money in the game these days.
3.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay, I think.
What happened? I heard a big crash.
I was trying to reach that really high part of the wall with the paintbrush, and the ladder fell.
Well, be careful. You're right at the top of the stairs. Imagine if you had fallen down the stairs. You could have killed yourself.
Yeah, I know. Sorry. Why don't you stay and hold the ladder for me?
4. Did I tell you I was going to take that blue dress back to the store?
Oh, yeah. It didn't really look good on you, did it? Did you get your money back?
No. I explained that it didn't fit me well, but the sales clerk refused to give me my money back.
Really? I thought they had to refund it.
Well, apparently not. I asked to see the manager, and when she finally came, she agreed with the sales clerk.
What did you say?
I told them I'd never shop at their store again if they didn't give me a refund. And do you know what she said?
What?
She smiled and said, no problem, that I should shop elsewhere.
Wow! Great customer service.
I know. And when I left, I heard them both laughing. I couldn't believe it. 5.
This afternoon, the mayor made a speech outlining plans for developing the transportation network around the capital. The plans have not been well received. Newspapers have described the speech as meaningless, while transportation experts have said the plans are problematic and unworkable. Even members of the mayor's own party have reacted negatively because they believe the plans will be unpopular with the public.
6.
How was the concert last night?
Oh, don't ask.
Really? Was it that bad?
It really was. When we got there, we found our seats were so far from the stage we couldn't really see anything.
Oh, that's too bad.
And then the band only played for half an hour, and the sound quality was awful. It was such a shame. We'd been looking forward to it for weeks.
Okay, guys, one more time.
10.13. 1.
I'm so angry.
Why? What's happened?
I parked my car on the street last night, and when I went to get it this morning, it had been broken into and vandalized.
Oh no, how bad is it?
Well, they scratched a line along the doors. They've smashed the windshield, and they've even slashed one of the tires. It's undrivable.
2.
Have you seen the sports news today?
No, why? Was there a game?
No, it's all about soccer player transfers. You know, which team is buying which player?
Oh, okay. So what's the news?
Well, apparently, Real Madrid is buying that midfielder from Chelsea for 100 million euros.
How much? That's crazy.
I know. There's way too much money in the game these days.
3.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay, I think.
What happened? I heard a big crash.
I was trying to reach that really high part of the wall with the paintbrush, and the ladder fell.
Well, be careful. You're right at the top of the stairs. Imagine if you had fallen down the stairs. You could have killed yourself.
Yeah, I know. Sorry. Why don't you stay and hold the ladder for me?
4. Did I tell you I was going to take that blue dress back to the store?
Oh, yeah, it didn't really look good on you, did it? Did you get your money back?
No. I explained that it didn't fit me well, but the sales clerk refused to give me my money back.
Really? I thought they had to refund it.
Well, apparently not. I asked to see the manager, and when she finally came, she agreed with the sales clerk.
What did you say?
I told them I'd never shop at their store again if they didn't give me a refund. And do you know what she said?
What?
She smiled and said, no problem, that I should shop elsewhere.
Wow! Great customer service.
I know. And when I left, I heard them both laughing. I couldn't believe it. 5.
This afternoon, the mayor made a speech outlining plans for developing the transportation network around the capital. The plans have not been well received. Newspapers have described the speech as meaningless, while transportation experts have said the plans are problematic and unworkable. Even members of the mayor's own party have reacted negatively because they believe the plans will be unpopular with the public.
6.
How was the concert last night?
Oh, don't ask.
Really? Was it that bad?
It really was. When we got there, we found our seats were so far from the stage we couldn't really see anything.
Oh, that's too bad.
And then the band only played for half an hour, and the sound quality was awful. It was such a shame. We'd been looking forward to it for weeks.
Okay, guys, 3 participants. Good. Okay, we have Laura, Matia, and Melissa. Okay, so let's work with Laura 1 and 2.
Okay. The car downright damaged and can be driven. 2. The cost of the soccer player's transfer is incredibly expensive.
Number 3, the person could have had a potentially fatal accident. Number 4, the store manager and sales clerk were downright rude.
The mayor's plans have been heavily criticized. The concert was awful, and the friends were bitterly disappointed.
Okay, guys, let's wait this some seconds. There you go. Now let's check pronunciation again. So, severely, no? Severely damaged. Incredibly expensive. Potentially fatal. Downright rude. Heavily criticized. Bitterly disappointed. Let's continue with exercise 7 in pairs. Tell your partner about a time you were utterly exhausted, a time you were looking forward to something but ended up bitterly disappointed. So in this part, try to repeat the expression so that you practice. Now, for example, in this part, we're practicing utterly exhausted. So you can say, oh, when I was 15, I was utterly exhausted because this and this happened. The same. I ended up bitterly disappointed because this and this. So try to use specifically the structures because by repeating them, you can memorize. Okay? Okay, guys. So in this part is speaking, maybe you can take notes about your partner's answers. After you come back, you will report. So report some answers about your partners. So take notes. Okay, guys, you can go to your groups. So 15 minutes to speak.
Hi, Harry.
Hi, Martin. Okay. At time you were utterly exhausted. Well, in my case, that moment where I had been week exams, first exam the semester. No sé cómo
When?
es. Ajá. Parciales, no sé cómo decirlo.
Test.
Ah, ¿cómo?
Test.
Ajá. First and second test of my week exams.
When?
When I had week exams. Semana de exámenes. Ujú.
¿Pero eso fue reciente o hace harto?
No hace mucho. So months ago, hace meses atrás. Porque todavía sigo mi carrera.
Ok.
And you?
Mira, tengo que tomar nota de lo tuyo. Where he had his week
Ajá.
exams.
Week exams of the test.
Months ago, right?
Yeah. Meses anteriores.
Okay. A ver, a time, well, years before when I was at school, I, a ver, ¿cómo puedo decir?
Exposition, homeworks,
No.
dancings.
I was utterly exhausted when I ran a marathon with all the students of the school, and I came in the second place.
Wow. Marathon. The second place, and you?
Yes.
Are you fast or are you faster?
Yeah, when I was at school.
No, it's not subtimate. Incredible. I think that are you artist or is smart in the creative the pictures. I don't know, but you don't seem athletics.
Really?
Yeah.
I like doing sports.
Oh. You are you fight? Are you fighting? You're now fight?
What?
Do you know fight? O sea, ¿sabes pelear? Te pregunto.
Ah,
I
no.
think that's correct.
Looks like me.
Un poquito, dice, ¿no?
Yeah, the second. A time we're looking forward to something but ended up bitterly disappointed. Yeah. The last Friday, yeah, I was looking forward a soap. It was the first time that I was taste this soap. It was a cream, a ver, te voy a decir cómo se llama, crema de choclo. It was the soap.
Okay.
It was bitterly disappointed because it seems like just water. It was terrible, awful, ugh, disgusting.
Is the el agua?
Looks like this. Looked like this. My
Oh.
cream of chocolate.
Was el agua, level. Yeah, we're looking I don't know.
Group number 1, Melissa, Maria Jose, Mary C. Work with your partner.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, sigamos arriando.
Okay. Ay, no sé cómo decirlo. No me acuerdo de ninguno que. It's similar and your case, but I think. Ah, no, no se pasó, vamos a la otra mejor.
Yeah.
Ajá, ya.
Number 3, the last time you struggled to do something but eventually managed to do it. ¿Qué quiere decir esto?
Struggle creo que luchar, esforzarse.
But eventually managed to do it.
Manage to do it, ¿a qué se refiere eso? Oye, la teacher no puede escuchar.
Ajá.
Logró hacerlo. Ah, ya. Entonces te pregunta de la última vez que te esforzaste por algo, pero eventualmente lograste hacerlo.
O sea, que me esforcé y que me salió bien, algo así.
Sí, pero eventualmente lograste hacerlo, dice.
Managed to do it. A ver.
Okay, in my case, I struggled to do something was my internship. Now I continue, but eventually managed to do it for get my defense of grade, defensa de grado, no sé cómo decirlo, defense of grade or get my university title, mi título universitario.
A ver, de nuevo, pero no te entendí bien.
Okay, the last time I struggled to do something was for get my internship. Internship creo que es internado, ¿no?
Ajá.
Internship.
Internship es como pasantía.
Ajá, yeah. My internship in industries and eventually managed to do it actually. Que logré hacerlo al final.
Ay, okay. The last time he struggled to to do something is when he got his internships.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something is internships to, a ver, ¿qué más era?
Where eventually
To get,
managed to
para
do it
tener tu título universitario, como dijiste.
to get my university title.
University degree, to degree.
Yeah.
Yes, degree. Yeah. The last time you struggled to do something, but still managed to do it. I don't know. Managed to do it. I think that my, how do we say, a project for a final exam at the university that obviously was in group, but not all my partners work in that. So just me, just my friend and me, and the group was with 5 person and just 2 work. Okay. So we finished the project and it was good.
Oh, okay. Good. Yeah.
I tell you had to get up ridiculous early.
Early. Tempranamente, dicen.
Hace poco.
Ajá.
¿Por qué?
Temprano. Un tiempo en la que tú has tenido que era.
¿En lo que has hecho el ridículo? ¿Algo así?
A ver, me voy a fijar. Levantaste.
The ridiculous. Dice.
Ajá, dice eso, que te levantaste ridículamente, dice. Temprano. Ah.
Ridículamente temprano, algo así.
Sí, pero creo que más va alusión a como que no era necesario, por decir.
Ajá.
Get up, ajá.
Yesterday. Yeah, yesterday I had the chance to sleep a bit more, but I get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. Like all the days.
Today in the art class?
No, yesterday.
Yeah.
Yesterday because I work from Monday to Friday, so Saturdays in the morning I'm free, so I had a chance to sleep a bit more, but I get up very early.
Wow.
Yeah, la tuya.
In my case, yeah. My time at get up ridiculous early was that I went and my internship at the 7 o'clock, where I get up 1 hours early. So I no sé cómo te
When
digo.
it was
When where I went and I forget my case of my case casillero. So it's all terrible. Get up early, and but you later forget your case, um, and I regret for my case, and I last later
Your case to open the
my case, my casillero.
okay.
Ajá. And I still forget my mi llave, my case. Kai, okay, creo que
Is or
creo que es case llave.
a kiss.
Keys, okay. I forgot my keys, and I was then ridiculous early for forgetting my keys.
Ya, espera. ¿Cómo se dice casillero?
Yo lo entiendo como casing, casilla, con, a ver, abren a la boca.
Casillero. O estante, algo así. No, estante no.
A ver. Locker.
Locker.
Ajá.
Work o locker, lo ven. Casillero de trabajo, ¿no?
Sí.
Okay. A person or experience that was downright unpleasant. Downright unpleasant.
Francamente desagradable.
A person or experience that was downright
Ujú.
unpleasant.
Una experiencia que fue,
Desagradable, dice, ¿no?
ajá, o terrible, por decir. Okay, for my case, my experience that was downright unpleasant was for example, when I report, no sé cómo se dice reprobar.
Fail?
Ajá.
Fail?
I'm not sure. I agree. Reprobar. Fail. Fail. When I fail my subject and the last test subjects of my semester in
The latest?
Yeah. The latest semesters I fail my subject and I repeat this subject, one subject. This stuff terrible experiences. Yeah, it's no sé cómo decir fortuito, troncales. It's the very harder, it's the subject harder in the almost theory.
Of his career. Okay, about me, a personal experience that was downright unpleasant. I'm not sure. Ay, no sé. When he failed the ladies, it was very unpleasant. Own experience.
Maybe similar to me, the fail to subject of.
No, I've never failed subjects. I never repeated subjects at the university.
Oh, good. Qué pendeja.
Okay, guys, everybody's here. Now let's report the sentences. You can report one. Okay, so because you have to tell the story. Okay, let's begin with group number 1. Somebody speak. Melissa, Maria Jose, or Mary C. Okay, begin, Mary C. Tell us about your partner, 1 or the 2.
And the 2. 1 and 2. Okay, Maria Jose say that utterly exhausted was the Saturday because she worked a lot since 7 a.m. until 8 p.m. without a break because she had a lot of work. And Melissa says that the last year when she expect that rise her salary in her job, and in her job they increase a lot work, and the end she ended up bitterly and disappointed.
Oh, too bad news. So instead of increasing salary, it was increased at work. Oh, too bad. Okay, thanks for the information, Mary C. Let's continue with group number 2, Laura or Madeline, who will report something.
She told me that she told me
At time you were, no, I'm sorry.
that she got
When she was, when she traveled to this Salar de Uyuni, she felt bitterly disappointed because the place was different from the propaganda, and it was because the weather. So yeah, she felt disappointed for that reason.
Really, this is the first time I listened that somebody was disappointed with the Salar de Uyuni, because from what I heard, it's like a paradise now. Especially my boss, when I was working at the World, and he said, "Oh, I traveled to Salar de Uyuni, and it was spectacular. It's the best thing in the world." Okay.
I think it was because when the pages shows the propaganda, always you see like that effect mirror, but it have to rain for that. And when she were there, it was not raining.
Okay, maybe like that. Okay. Thank you, Laura, for the information. Okay, let's continue with group 3. Maria Rene or Michelle. report information.
Okay. The last time Montaño struggled to do something was when was learning to ride a bike. Eventually managed to do it with perseverance and hard working and with familiars helping to do it.
Okay, good. Thank you, Rene, for the information. Okay, let's continue with group 4, Marieli or Harry.
Okay, teacher. Harry told me about his downright unpleasant experience when he failed his last subject of his degree, so he had to repeat it.
Oh, too bad, Harry. Okay, thank you for the information, Marieli. Okay, the last group, Matia, Clarita, or Hector.
Well, I'm gonna start. Basically, I'm gonna report what my sister says. Well, it is like this. She said that the last year, when she was the president of her class, she said that the mothers of her class used to call him to ask for activities or homeworks that her sons have to make, and it was always constantly. And she says that it was utterly exhausting for her.
Oh, good. Okay, thank you. Okay, Clarita, so you were the representative of your class?
Yes.
Okay, good job. Okay, guys, so you want to speak?
Yeah.
No, right? Yes? Okay.
Okay.
Tell us some information.
When Hector get up ridiculous early was the last week when he while asleep. He woke up thinking it was late to go to work, and he checked his phone. It was 3 a.m.
That's a good one. Okay, thank you. Yes, that's happened sometime, right? Okay. Yes.
Yeah, I have the report from Matthias as well, if he wants.
Really? Okay. So you can speak.
He said that the last month he was preparing his final presentation during 2 weeks, and the presentation that he's prepared was for 10 or 15 minutes, but the teacher said that the time limit is just for 5 minutes. So he wastes his times, and he feels bitterly disappointed.
Oh, really, Matia? Okay, good. Okay, guys. So there we have. Now, those are some information. Remember, memorize those structures, especially for the oral exam. Okay? In which the teacher will ask, okay, make conversation using adverbs with or adverb collocations or adverbial phrases. Okay, guys, now let's continue and let's go back to page 86. On page 86, we're going to practice some vocabulary related to verbs with prefixes, and also we're going to practice your listening skills. Okay, so directly we continue with exercise 2. Complete sentences about personal achievements with the verbs in the box. So we have misinterpret, misunderstand, overcome, recreate. Okay, we can do this together. So number 1, I don't to my fear of water by learning to swim. So which one is that?
Overcome.
Overcome. Very good. So overcome my fear. 2, I want to learn to read maps properly so that I don't
misinterpret.
Yes, misinterpret them and get lost when I'm hiking. 3. I learned to cook so I could recreate. Very good. Recreate some of the amazing food I've seen on TV. 4. I want to become fluent in German so I don't
Misunderstand.
misunderstand. Very good. Misunderstand my German mother-in-law. So, in this part, we're practicing verbs with suffixes miss, over, or re. Okay, misinterpret, misunderstand, overcome, recreate. Okay, guys. So let's go to vocabulary practice on page 129. Okay, the one that says 10B. Okay? Okay, guys. So match the verbs involved with definitions A, if. Then you continue with exercise 2. Complete the sentences with the correct form of the verbs in the box.
1,
So there is
Overcame.
2,
Recharged.
3,
Misunderstood.
4,
Overestimated.
5,
Misinterpret.
6,
Recreated.
okay, guys, let's check volunteers to participate. Okay, 3 people for exercise 1. Oh, good, we have people already. Okay, Michelle, number dog. Write your number before you. Okay, Montaño, 1, 2. Medici, 3, 4. And Melissa, 5, 6. Then we continue with exercise 2. Marieli, Harry, and Laura. Okay, Vicky, Michelle.
Okay. Number 1, if you mistreat someone, she will probably feel hurt and angry. Letter C, act towards someone in a way that isn't acceptable or appropriate. And number 2, I overheard their conversation. They were speaking very loudly. Letter F, hear a conversation between people who aren't talking to you.
Number 3, this cream is supposed to rejuvenate your skin, but it didn't work. The answer is A. May something look or feel down again. 4. Check your bills carefully as something companies overcharge you. Answer is B. Ask somebody for too much money for a product or service.
Number 5, letter D. We're working to restore the theater after the fire got damaged. Is returned to a former condition or state. And number 6, letter E. I used to misbehave, and my teachers would tell me off. Behave badly.
Okay, guys, good job. Now let's check your answers again and at the same time practice pronunciation.
Ten 10.5. 1.
Mistreat.
C. 2.
Overheard.
F. 3.
Rejuvenate.
A. 4.
Overcharge.
B. 5.
Restore.
D.
I
6.
misunderstand
Misbehave.
Lane
E.
said, so I told her party was this Saturday, not the following one.
Mistreat,
We
overheard, rejuvenate,
overestimate,
overcharge, restore, misbehave. Okay. Okay, let's continue with exercise
the
2.
time it would take to drive there. So we arrive an hour early.
Okay, so we have number 4, Marieli, 1, 2. Then continue with Harry, 3, 4. And Laura, 5, 6. Okay, begin.
Okay. He had a lot of challenges as a teenager, but he overcome them and made a good life for himself. After number 2, after my exams, I recharged by taking a couple of weeks vacation.
Number 3, I misunderstand what Lane said, so I thought her party was this Saturday, not the following one. Number 4, we overestimate the time it would take to drive there, so we arrived an hour early.
5. Even when two people speak the same language, they can still misinterpret what the other says.
Overestimate.
6. The artist has recreated many famous works of art in a modern style.
No, good job, guys. Now be careful with the past tenses. For example, here, overcame, estimated, misunderstood.
Ten 10.6. 1.
Overcame.
Pero ayer lo
2.
Recharged.
ese.
3.
Misunderstood.
4.
Poquinho eso.
Overestimated.
Ah, ya.
5.
Misinterpret.
Ya leo.
6.
Pero ¿qué van a
Recreated.
hacer? Pero no sé qué van a hacer. ¿Y de cuánto hay que poner? 40. ¿Y qué? En la noche sería. Claro.
Now we can go back to page 86.
¿Ah? Voy a estar en tu práctica.
¿Y ahí tenés clase?
No, de ahí ya volvés por allá. ¿Qué es eso, flan?
Okay. Exercise 3.
Creo que te haga mal.
Watch the first part of talking zone. Choose the correct option to complete the sentences. Okay, guys, so pay attention because we have to finish this quickly. Okay?
Eso ahí entonces hay que meterlo en. Voy a meterte tu ropa. Ah, ya.
Hello and welcome. I'm Tasha
Mi mamá
Harris.
se me lee igual va a poner.
From inventing the wheel to climbing Mount Everest, it seems that humanity has always been fascinated by
Como
challenges.
todo por igual.
We've always had that impulse to break boundaries and
Pues si
achieve
todo
new
vamos a poner por
things.
igual.
Today, setting goals and hitting targets is a part of everyday life. So, we asked you, what's your most valued achievement?
I know it's generally considered pretty nerdy, but I love science fiction. When I was younger, I entered a competition to recreate the spaceship from my favourite TV show. Nearly half of my class entered, but I won. I got to spend a whole day at the TV studio. I even met the cast.
Last year, I decided to do a half marathon. I really wanted to do it under 2 hours, which is thought to be pretty good for a first time. I did it in just over 2 hours. I was so close. I took a break and recharged. 5 weeks later, I did another one in just under 2 hours. I was so happy.
I'm a journalist, and when I was just starting out in my career, I had to write a piece on my specialist topic, journalistic ethics, in no more than 1,200 words. At first, I thought it was impossible. I just had too much to say. But not only was it published, the newspaper offered me a job too.
It appears there are many ways to break boundaries, and today I'm joined by Kerry Ann Marsh, former gymnast and host of the Rise to the Challenge podcast. Kerry Ann, your podcast deals with stories of people who have broken all kinds of boundaries. How did you become interested in that?
I did gymnastics in high school, and most of my heroes were gymnasts that had really pushed the sport's boundaries. Like, did you know that the quadruple somersault was thought to be impossible, but today many gymnasts are able to do it? And nobody had ever scored a perfect 10 in Olympic gymnastics until Nadia Comaneci did it in the 1976 Olympics. Breaking those boundaries changes the sport forever. In the US today, an estimated 6 million people do gymnastics, and many of them can do things that were said to be impossible 100 years ago. This isn't unique to sports. People have become fascinated with breaking boundaries in all aspects of life. And that's why I decided to do a podcast about it.
And you hit the news recently thanks to a survey you ran.
That's right. We just asked people to suggest the greatest human achievements ever. And you won't believe it, but we received in excess of 5,000 comments in 1 week. That's 3 times our normal weekly number of listeners.
And what were they?
There were so many that it was felt as if we should split them into categories: science, sports, and technology. Roughly 2/3 of all the suggestions were for technological achievements. Of those, around 15% of people voted for smartphones, and exactly 25% suggested the invention of the internet. But 3 out of every 5 people said that humanity's greatest technological achievement was the moon landing. In science, somewhere in the region of 300 people voted for the discovery of gravity, and roughly the same amount, give or take a few, suggested penicillin. But almost 3/4 of the votes were for the discovery of DNA's helix structure. In sports, a lot of people voted for Simone Biles' Olympic performances in gymnastics, and 35% voted for Michael Phelps' 18 gold medals. But 45% voted for Usain Bolt's record-breaking 9.58-second sprint in the 100-meter race. But sports are particularly interesting because apparently we are starting to reach our physical limits in things like gymnastics and track and field.
You mean there will soon be no barriers to break through?
That's according to some scientists. It's possible they're overestimating our modern achievements, but certainly the data suggests we can only go so far.
Let's see more of what the future holds right after this break.
Okay, guys, so let's see. Any volunteer? Oh, good. Okay. We'll work with Laura and Mattia. Okay, let's see. Okay, Laura. The first one, just read the sentence. It doesn't matter if it's incorrect because we are going to see you the correct answers in this moment.
Okay. Sarah, Kathy, and Rich all talk about what they like to achieve in life. And two, Carrie Ann's podcast is about boundaries broken in various type of sports.
Okay, continue, Mattia.
Me, teacher. Okay. And three, her survey is about the greatest things humanity has ever done. Number four, the majority of suggestions were for technological achievements.
Okay, very good, Clarita. Yes, that's correct. Okay, yeah, check number one, though. They are talking about their most valuable achievements. Now they give examples of what happened. And Carrie Ann is talking about boundaries broken in different areas of life, not just sports. They are mentioning other topics. Okay, now let's continue. Now, in order to listen, remember that you have to develop some skills. In this part, let's try to develop understanding precise and imprecise numbers. So when listening for detailed information, we often need to understand information that contains numbers. This information can be expressed both precisely and imprecisely. For example, listen for phrases that express a precise number, limit, proportion, or comparison. For example, when we say precise, we say exactly, no? Exactly 6. In no more than 1,200 words. 3 out of every 5 people. 3 times as many people. Now, recognize decimals, fractions, and percentages. For example, 9.58. So you read 9.58. This one, 3/4. This one, 15.05%. 15.05%. Now, listen for phrases that express an imprecise number. Now, phrases that express imprecise number. Somewhere in the region. Somewhere in the region of a dozen. Roughly. Roughly a quarter. 5, no? Give or take a few. Give or take a few, just under, over an hour, an estimated 20 people. So those are expressions that you can use for imprecise. Somewhere in the region, roughly, give or take, just under, over, or unestimated. Okay. In the following activity, we are going to practice this. So try to listen to the specific words exactly, 3 out of 3 times, percent, no, somewhere in the region, etc. Okay. Exercise 4. Read the skill box, watch again. Now, in this part, we listen again. Complete the text with phrases and numbers. So here we have to listen carefully because it's very important information and it's very precise information. So let's listen.
Thought to be impossible, but today many gymnasts are able to do it. And nobody had ever scored a perfect 10 in Olympic gymnastics until Nadia Comaneci did it in the 1976 Olympics. Breaking those boundaries changes the sport forever. In the US today, an estimated 6 million people do gymnastics, and many of them can do things that were said to be impossible 100 years ago. This isn't unique to sports. People have become fascinated with breaking boundaries in all aspects of life. And that's why I decided to do a podcast about it.
And you hit the news recently thanks to a survey you ran.
That's right. We just asked people to suggest the greatest human achievements ever. And you won't believe it, but we received in excess of 5,000 comments in 1 week. That's 3 times our normal weekly number of listeners.
And what were they?
There were so many that it was felt as if we should split them into categories: science, sports, and technology. Roughly 2/3 of all the suggestions were for technological achievements. Of those, around 15% of people voted for smartphones, and exactly 25% suggested the invention of the internet. But 3 out of every 5 people said that humanity's greatest technological achievement was the moon landing. In science, somewhere in the region of 300 people voted for the discovery of gravity, and roughly the same amount, give or take a few, suggested penicillin. But almost 3/4 of the votes were for the discovery of DNA's helix structure. In sports, a lot of people voted for Simone Biles' Olympic performances in gymnastics, and 35% voted for Michael Phelps' 18 gold medals. But 45% voted for Usain Bolt's record-breaking 9.58-second sprint in the 100-meter race. But sports are particularly...
So again, let's listen. Remember, we begin with this one, number 1. Okay, while I'm playing, I'm going to stop a little bit so that you can write very quickly.
About it.
And you hit the news recently thanks to a survey you ran.
That's right. We just asked people to suggest the greatest human achievements ever. And you won't believe it, but we received in excess of 5,000 comments in 1 week. That's 3 times our normal weekly number of listeners.
And what were they?
There were so many that it was felt as if we should split them into categories: science, sports, and technology. Roughly 2/3 of all the suggestions were for technological achievements. Of those, around 15% of people voted for smartphones, and exactly 25% suggested the invention of the internet. But 3 out of every 5 people said that humanity's greatest technological achievement was the moon landing.
Now continues science.
In science, somewhere in the region of 300 people voted for the discovery of gravity. And roughly the same amount, give or take a few, suggested penicillin. But almost 3/4 of the votes were for the discovery of DNA's helix structure.
Okay, continue with sports.
In sports, a lot of people voted for Simone Biles' Olympic performances in gymnastics, and 35% voted for Michael Phelps' gold medals. But
Okay, we're gonna repeat so you can see maybe from before, listen to
region of 300 people voted for the discovery of gravity, and roughly the same amount, give or take a few, suggested penicillin. But almost 3/4 of the votes were for the discovery of DNA's helix structure. In sports, a lot of people voted for Simone Biles' Olympic performances in gymnastics, and 35% voted for Michael Phelps' 18 gold medals. But 45% voted for Usain Bolt's record-breaking 9.58-second sprint in the 100-meter race. But sports are particularly
now. We listen again in this part, just continues. I'm not gonna stop so that you can check again.
become fascinated with breaking boundaries in all aspects of life. And that's why I decided to do a podcast about it.
And you hit the news recently thanks to a survey you ran.
That's right. We just asked people to suggest the greatest human achievements ever. And you won't believe it, but we received in excess of 5,000 comments in 1 week. That's 3 times our normal weekly number of listeners.
And what were they?
There were so many that it was felt as if we should split them into categories: science, sports, and technology. Roughly 2/3 of all the suggestions were for technological achievements. Of those, around 15% of people voted for smartphones, and exactly 25% suggested the invention of the internet. But 3 out of every 5 people said that humanity's greatest technological achievement was the moon landing. In science, somewhere in the region of 300 people voted for the discovery of gravity, and roughly the same amount, give or take a few, suggested penicillin. But almost 3/4 of the votes were for the discovery of DNA's helix structure. In sports, a lot of people voted for Simone Biles' Olympic performances in gymnastics, and 35% voted for Michael Phelps' 18 gold medals. But 45% voted for Usain Bolt's record-breaking 9.58-second sprint in the 100-meter race. But sports are particularly interesting because apparently we are starting to reach our physical limits in things like gymnastics and track and field.
You mean there will soon be no barriers to break through?
That's according to some scientists. It's possible they're overestimating our modern achievements, but certainly the data suggests we can only go so far.
Let's see more of what the future holds right after this break.
Okay, guys, volunteers to participate. I need 3 people. Okay, 3 people so that we can divide this in topics. Okay, Mary C, you can complete the first one. Harry, the second one. I don't know if it's Balda, Matia, or Clarita. Okay. If there are other students who can participate, if they make a mistake, you can correct them. Okay, Mary C, begin the first part.
Okay, roughly 2/3 of all suggestions were for technological achievements. Of those around 15% of people vote for a smartphone, and exactly 25% suggest the invention of the internet. But 3 out of every 5 people vote for the moon landing.
Oh, excellent. Good job, Mary C. Okay, continue, Harry.
In science, 300 people voted for the discovery of gravity, and roughly the same amount, give or take a fourth, suggested penicillin, but almost 3/4 of the votes were for the discovery of DNA's helix structure.
Okay, good job. Some words are missing though. Okay, thank you. Continue next one.
Okay. In sports, a lot of people vote for Simone Biles' Olympic performances in gymnastics, and 35% vote for Michael Phelps. 18 gold medals, but 45% vote for Usain Bolt breaking 9.58 second 100 meters sprint.
Good job, guys. Now let's check the answers. Okay, check your answers again. Okay, guys. So I have a suggestion. You have 15 minutes break. So you can have your break of 15 minutes in this moment, or we can continue working until 2:10. So take your decision in this moment. If we have break, we'll have classes until 12:30. But if you don't have break, you will have class until 12:10. So raise your hands if you want the first option in this moment. Okay, so you want to have class until 12:30, right? Okay, so we have class until 12:30, so nobody answered for this one. So we have break 15 minutes, okay? We continue working with the listening skills. So watch the second part of the show, answer the questions. Number 1, what limit do scientists think we have almost reached in sports? 2, in which area are there still many boundaries to be broken? 3, Kerrian mentions 3 specific boundaries still to be broken. What are they? Okay, let's watch the video and answer the questions.
Hello and welcome back to the show. I'm here with Kerry Ann Marsh, host of the Rise to the Challenge podcast. Kerry-Ann, you've mentioned some of humanity's most inspiring achievements, but you also spoke about the fact that we could be nearing the limits of boundary breaking. What did you mean by that?
As humans, we definitely have limits. We can only run so far, swim so fast, jump so high, and that sort of thing. There's an opinion, which is held by many doctors and scientists, that we are very close to reaching those limits.
And what do you think of that theory?
I mean, it's so widely held because there's a lot of scientific evidence to support it. It's definitely true of other animals, for example. A recent study looked at horse racing and found that there was a limit to how fast horses could go. It appears that the same is true for humans. Take the women's 100-meter race, for example. For decades, this world record was broken every few years, starting at 13.6 seconds in 1922. However, the current record of 10.49 seconds has been held since 1988. And it's thought we've almost reached the same point with the men's race, too. Of course, it's always possible scientists are misunderstanding or misinterpreting this data, but it does seem to be happening in lots of other sports, too. Just look at ice skating. In just over 100 years, humans have gone from rotating once in a jump to rotating 4 times.
That's incredible. But where does that leave us? What if there are no boundaries left to be broken?
Oh, there are still plenty of boundaries to break. However, it's thought that these will be technological rather than physical.
And what do you think those will be?
Sending people to Mars is considered to be a boundary worth breaking by some. NASA has already sent spacecraft there and hopes to send astronauts on missions there by the 2030s. They're not the only ones, with former astronaut Buzz Aldrin and entrepreneur Elon Musk also in the race. All in all, I think there's a good chance we'll get there soon.
Seriously? And will we all have flying cars for the journey?
You joke, but that is a real possibility. With the development of drone technology, we're already seeing air taxi services being developed in the US and the Middle East. Now, lots of different companies are looking into this, and it's thought the first flying cars are only a few years away.
It seems there's no stopping science. But what, in your opinion, is the biggest boundary still to be broken?
The biggest boundary? I suppose that's beating the ultimate limitation. Many scientists are looking into immortality, and there are lots of ways this could be achieved. Inventors have created lots of different techniques and have called them all kinds of things like cryogenics, mind uploading, and biohacking. But the basic idea is to use technology to restore and rejuvenate human beings so they can live forever.
Sounds like a science fiction film. It's a long way from inventing the wheel or climbing Mount Everest.
Yes, but the motivation behind breaking the boundary of eternal life is the same one behind inventing the wheel. Overcoming obstacles, whatever they might be.
Kerry-Ann, it's been fascinating, but we'll have to leave it there. Thank you so much for coming on.
It's been a pleasure.
And that's it from us. We do hope you enjoy the future, whatever it may hold. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.
Okay. If you have your answers, you can answer in this moment, or we can listen again. But at the same time, you can do exercise 7. Okay. So, listen again. Are the sentences true or false? Correct the false sentences. So, the answers for exercise number 6 can be here. So, you can also use this information. Now again, remember, if the answer is false, correct the false sentence, right? What is the correct information? Okay, in this part, we just listen.
10.8.
Hello and welcome back to the show. I'm here with Kerry-Ann Marsh, host of the Rise to the Challenge podcast. Kerry-Ann, you've mentioned some of humanity's most inspiring achievements, but you also spoke about the fact that we could be nearing the limits of boundary breaking. What did you mean by that?
As humans, we definitely have limits. We can only run so far, swim so fast, jump so high, and that sort of thing. There's an opinion, which is held by many doctors and scientists, that we are very close to reaching those limits.
And what do you think of that theory?
I mean, it's so widely held because there's a lot of scientific evidence to support it. It's definitely true of other animals, for example. A recent study looked at horse racing and found that there was a limit to how fast horses could go. It appears that the same is true for humans. Take the women's 100-meter race, for example. For decades, this world record was broken every few years, starting at 13.6 seconds in 1922. However, the current record of 10.49 seconds has been held since 1988. And it's thought we've almost reached the same point with the men's race, too. Of course, it's always possible scientists are misunderstanding or misinterpreting this data, but it does seem to be happening in lots of other sports, too. Just look at ice skating. In just over 100 years, humans have gone from rotating once in a jump to rotating 4 times.
That's incredible. But where does that leave us? What if there are no boundaries left to be broken?
Oh, there are still plenty of boundaries to break. However, it's thought that these will be technological rather than physical.
And what do you think those will be?
Sending people to Mars is considered to be a boundary worth breaking by some. NASA has already sent spacecraft there and hopes to send astronauts on missions there by the 2030s. They're not the only ones, with former astronaut Buzz Aldrin and entrepreneur Elon Musk also in the race. All in all, I think there's a good chance we'll get there soon.
Seriously? And will we all have flying cars for the journey?
You joke, but that is a real possibility. With the development of drone technology, we're already seeing air taxi services being developed in the US and the Middle East. Now, lots of different companies are looking into this, and it's thought the first flying cars are only a few years away.
It seems there's no stopping science. But what, in your opinion, is the biggest boundary still to be broken?
The biggest boundary? I suppose that's beating the ultimate limitation. Many scientists are looking into immortality, and there are lots of ways this could be achieved. Inventors have created lots of different techniques and have called them all kinds of things like cryogenics, mind uploading, and biohacking. But the basic idea is to use technology to restore and rejuvenate human beings so they can live forever.
Sounds like a science fiction film. It's a long way from inventing the wheel or climbing Mount Everest.
Yes, but the motivation behind breaking the boundary of eternal life is the same one behind inventing the wheel. Overcoming obstacles, whatever they might be.
Kerry-Ann, it's been fascinating, but we'll have to leave it there. Thank you so much for coming on.
It's been a pleasure.
And that's it from us. We do hope you enjoy the future, whatever it may hold. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.
Okay, guys. Now, first we answer question number 6. Exercise 6, questions from 1 to 3. Okay, volunteers to answer. Okay, we work with Matia. Okay, who else wants to answer? Okay, Mary C, number 2. And number 3. You can find the answers in exercise 7, right? Okay, Laura. Yes. Okay, Matia, question number 1 very quickly. What limit do scientists think we have almost reached in sports?
Well, what limit we have, it is how fast we can run.
Very good. Yes, how fast we can run. Okay, continue, Mary C.
Number 2, I will say technological.
Technology, yes, that's correct. And Laura, what 3 specific boundaries are still to be broken?
I heard one, and it is the immortality.
Yes, immortality. That's correct. What else? Come on, guys. Just for the video about something about technology.
Drone technology.
Maria Rene, can you speak loudly, please? No, okay. Good.
I heard the media was sending people to Mars and flying cars.
Very good, Maria Rene. Yes, that's correct. Okay, so those are the boundaries. 3 boundaries in this moment. However, we already have flying cars. In China, Chinese people have made already flying cars and they are selling like $3,000 each one. So, flying cars, there are already. So, boundaries that we have not reached in sports, how fast we can run, right? The other technology, then 3 topics, sending people to Mars and immortality. Okay, good. Now, continue with exercise 7. If you have the answers, you can participate. 4 people.
Papa, hello, Papa. Papa.
Okay,
Papa.
only Flores Madeline. Okay, Flores Madeline, 1, 2. Now, we continue with next ones. Let's listen once more, and then volunteers, guys.
10.8.
Hello and welcome back to the show. I'm here with Kerry Ann Marsh, host of the Rise to the Challenge podcast. Kerry Ann, you've mentioned some of humanity's most inspiring achievements, but you also spoke about the fact that we could be nearing the limits of boundary breaking. What did you mean by that?
As humans, we definitely have limits. We can only run so far, swim so fast, jump so high, and that sort of thing. There's an opinion, which is held by many doctors and scientists, that we are very close to reaching those limits.
And what do you think of that theory?
I mean, it's so widely held because there's a lot of scientific evidence to support it. It's definitely true of other animals, for example. A recent study looked at horse racing and found that there was a limit to how fast horses could go. It appears that the same is true for humans. Take the women's 100-meter race, for example. For decades, this world record was broken every few years, starting at 13.6 seconds in 1922. However, the current record of 10.49 seconds has been held since 1988. And it's thought we've almost reached the same point with the men's race, too. Of course, it's always possible scientists are misunderstanding or misinterpreting this data, but it does seem to be happening in lots of other sports, too. Just look at ice skating. In just over 100 years, humans have gone from rotating once in a jump to rotating 4 times.
That's incredible. But where does that leave us? What if there are no boundaries left to be broken?
Oh, there are still plenty of boundaries to break. However, it's thought that these will be technological rather than physical.
And what do you think those will be?
Sending people to Mars is considered to be a boundary worth breaking by some. NASA has already sent spacecraft there and hopes to send astronauts on missions there by the 2030s. They're not the only ones, with former astronaut Buzz Aldrin and entrepreneur Elon Musk also in the race. All in all, I think there's a good chance we'll get there soon.
Seriously? And will we all have flying cars for the journey?
You joke, but that is a real possibility. With the development of drone technology, we're already seeing air taxi services being developed in the US and the Middle East. Now, lots of different companies are looking into this, and it's thought the first flying cars are only a few years away.
It seems there's no stopping science. But what, in your opinion, is the biggest boundary still to be broken?
The biggest boundary? I suppose that's beating the ultimate limitation. Many scientists are looking into immortality, and there are lots of ways this could be achieved. Inventors have created lots of different techniques and have called them all kinds of things like cryogenics, mind uploading, and biohacking. But the basic idea is to use technology to restore and rejuvenate human beings so they can live forever.
Sounds like a science fiction film. It's a long way from inventing the wheel or climbing Mount Everest.
Yes, but the motivation behind breaking the boundary of eternal life is the same one behind inventing the wheel, overcoming obstacles, whatever they might be.
Kerry-Ann, it's been fascinating, but we'll have to leave it there. Thank you so much for coming on.
It's been a pleasure.
And that's it from us. We do hope you enjoy the future, whatever it may hold. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.
Okay, let's work. Okay, Madeline, read the sentence, say true, false. If it's false, remember to correct it. Okay, begin.
Okay, number 1, there is a very little evidence to show that humans are close to reaching our physical limits. Is false. The correct is there is a lot of scientific evidence. Number 2, there is a limit to how fast horses can run, and this also appears to be true for humans. It's true.
Yes, good job. Okay, continue next one.
Okay, teacher. And number 3, the current record for the women's 100 meters race is 10 seconds. It's true, but it's 10.49 seconds. Number 4, in 100 years, is ice stickers have gone from rotating once to roughly 4 times in a jump. Is true.
Okay, continue.
Number 5. NASA isn't interested in sending people to Mars in the next few decades. False. The NASA is interested. Number 6. It is believed that cars will be able to fly in the near future. True.
Okay, Hector, continue.
Six, teacher.
7, 8.
Mind uploading is the only technique being studied for the breaking the boundary of mortality. It's true, I think. The 8, our motivation for breaking boundaries today are the same as those of our ancestors. True as well.
Okay, guys, so remember in exercise 6, we answer one question, right? Specifically, the 3 specific boundaries. So this is related to that, okay? Okay, so your partner mentioned this one. True, but it is no. So if it's this, so it's false, right? And here, not roughly 4 times. 4 times specifically, so not roughly. And we also have cryogenics and biohacking. Now, let's continue with listening builder. In this part, we practice final T and final D sounds. Now, pay attention. When a word ends in T or D sound, and the next word begins with a consonant sound, the T and D are often dropped. So, when we have a T sound or a D sound, and the next word begins with a consonant, it can be a T, an F, whatever, this T or D will be eliminated. We don't pronounce, and we only pronounce the following consonant. Okay? Now, the T and D sound is frequently used grammar words. Now, for example, we have ant, bat, that. They are often erased. So when we have, for example, ant, table, for example, now we have this and table. So what happens here? We eliminate this one, and we only pronounce the T of table and table. Okay, so that was happened. D and then consonant. Now, this can happen even when the next word begins with a vowel sound. So sometimes this can also happen with a vowel sound. Again, when we have these words, and, bat, that. Now, let's look at the example here. You spoke about the fact. So we're not going to say about. We eliminate this one because we have a T sound here, the consonant, about that. Fact, that. So instead of saying fact that, no, fact that. So we join the two words here. About the fact, so we eliminate the T. But that, no, we. Again, we are eliminating these consonants because the next word is a consonant as well. And then we have here other examples, such as this one. And I believe that there is no example with vowel. Okay. There is no example with vowel, but you can do this also with the vowel sound, especially with the sounds or the words and, but, that. Okay? Now, let's continue with exercise 8. So, read the listening builder again. Listen and complete the sentences with up to 4 words in each blank. So it can be 1, 2, 3, maximum 4 words. Okay?
$10.9. 1.
Apparently, we are starting to reach our physical limits in things like gymnastics and track and field.
2.
A recent study looked at horse racing and found that there was a limit to how fast horses could go.
3.
Sending people to Mars is considered to be a boundary worth breaking. All in all, I think there's a good chance we'll get there soon.
4.
Lots of different companies are looking into this, and it's thought the first flying cars are only a few years away.
5.
Many scientists are looking into immortality, and there are lots of ways this could be achieved.
$10.9. 1.
Apparently, we are starting to reach our physical limits in things like gymnastics and track and field.
2.
A recent study looked at horse racing and found that there was a limit to how fast horses could go.
3.
Sending people to Mars is considered to be a boundary worth breaking. All in all, I think there's a good chance we'll get there soon.
4.
Lots of different companies are looking into this, and it's thought the first flying cars are only a few years away.
5.
Many scientists are looking into immortality, and there are lots of ways this could be achieved.
Okay, guys, check your answers. Okay, remember you cannot leave before we finish class. At the end of the class, I'm going to take a picture again as a proof that you attended classes on Sunday. Now, if you notice here in the conversation, these are eliminated, so we don't pronounce, but remember this is only for speaking. For example, like this. Okay. This one as well. Here we connect the two words, trakan. Okay. The same here. We eliminate this. Looked at, like that. So especially when it's the consonant, you eliminate the first one because the next one replaces that. Found that. Okay. Okay, guys, let's go to the part of the last part of the book. Okay, I believe that people have connected again. Yes. Guys, remember to stay until the end of the class because I will take a picture as a proof of this Sunday. Okay, in this part we are going to practice summarizing data. Okay, let's look at this part first. Page 91. So, when we summarize data or data presented in a chart, we first familiarize yourself with the title, labels, and key on the chart. Identify the main trends that the data shows. This could be increases, decreases, rates of change, similarities, and differences. Think of possible explanations for the trends you have identified. When describing change, use a variety of expressions for different types of changes. For example, rose steadily, fell dramatically, a slight increase, a substantial drop. Use signposting to help the reader navigate your writing. It can clearly be seen that the most significant change is in contrast to. So we are reading again data or summarizing a specific data. Now, let's look at this information. So here we have the information about increasing, decreasing, stable numbers, etc. Now here we have the first in purple is the cell phone, the green one, smartphone, the orange, desktop or laptop, the red one, what happened? Tablet, MP3 and ebook reader. Okay, so look at the chart below. From 24 to 2015, did ownership rates of each device increase, decrease, increase, and then decrease? or stay at a similar rate. Now, what happens with cell phone? Did cell phones increase, decrease, increase and then increase, or stay at a similar rate? Sorry. What happened here? What can you see?
Increase.
Increase, yes. There is an increase in this part. So cell phone increase.
I think cell phone, smartphone, and tablet increase. Decrease desktop,
Papi.
MP3 player, e-ebook reader.
Ebook. Oh, yes. So there we have an increase and a decrease as well. If you see increase and then a decrease, so we can talk about the ebook, right?
Yeah.
What about here? There is a little bit increase and also, but there is a decrease as well here. So maybe here you can mention the MP3 and the ebook. Okay, good. But the idea is that you are understanding what's the increase and the decrease. Okay. Now let's look at the information here. This is a summary of all these statistics of this data. Okay. So this chart shows the changing ownership rates in the US of 6 different technological devices between 2015.
Papi.
Perhaps the first trend to notice is that there is a lot of variation between the changes in ownership rates of the different devices. So this person is writing a summary of all this data here. No? He or she mentions the 6 different technological devices, the tablet, the cell phone, etc. Okay, now volunteers to read. Let's continue with this part. Who wants to read this one? Okay, 1, 2, 3 people to participate. Okay, Marieli, you read the first one. Hector, the next one, and Laura, the last one. Okay. So Hector, you read until here, please. Begin, Marieli.
Okay. Although there was an increase in ownership of both cell phones in general and smartphones in particular, the rates of increase are very different. Whereas ownerships of cell phones rose steadily over 10 years, ownerships of smartphones almost doubled in 4 years. This is presumably because most people already owned a cell phone, while a smartphone were a relatively new invention in 2011.
In a similar trend, ownership of laptop and desktop computers remained at a steady rate, but there was a sharp increase in tablet ownership. A possible explanation for this is that as more people own tablets, they no longer need traditional computers. Another interesting trend concerns the data for MP3 players and ebooks readers, both of which showed increased growth for a few years, but the ownership rates begin to drop. In particular, ownership of ebooks readers suddenly fell from 32% in 2014 to just 19% a year later. These trends are probably also due to the increase in multi-purpose smartphones and tablets, which tend to incorporate music players and documents readers.
In conclusion, it seems likely that smartphones becomes increasingly multi-purpose, separate technological devices will become unnecessary, and therefore rates of ownership will continue to drop.
Okay, good. Thank you guys for reading. Now let's pay attention to pronunciation. Doubled. Okay. Then we have steady rate. Steady rate. Okay. Multi-purpose. Okay, and I believe that's it. Okay, now let's look at the words in bold, now in highlighted words. There is a lot of variation, grows steadily in a similar trend. So those words are related to the increase or decrease of numbers. Now, exercise 3. Match the highlighted phrases 1, 3 in the text with functions A, C. So which of those expressions in yellow is used to describe change? So which one? There is a lot of variation, rose steadily, or in a similar trend.
There is a lot of variation.
There is a lot of variation. Okay. Not really.
Rose steadily.
Rose steadily. Yes. Rose steadily to describe change. Now, to highlight similarities.
Number 3.
In a similar trend.
Yes, number 3, in a similar trend, ownership of laptop. Okay. What about letter C? To highlight differences.
There is a
There
lot
is
of
a lot
variation.
of variation.
Very good. So there is a lot of variation. We are highlighting differences. Okay. Now let's continue with this one. Cautious language. We use cautious language when we are writing, especially in academic contexts. This helps us avoid expressing absolute certainty and avoid overgeneralizations. So we can do this by using modals and other verbs. Can, could, may, might, should, seem or would seem, appear or would appear, and tend. We can use probability adjectives and adverbs. For example, likely, possible, probable, possibly, probably, perhaps, presumably. We can use quantifiers and frequency adverbs. Most, some majority, certain types of, sometimes, frequently, or generally. So that's why it's called cautious language, because they all express possibility or probability. Okay? We are not absolutely certain about this. Okay, guys. This is the last activity we are going to do. So use the words in parentheses to make these sentences more cautious. For example, you have perhaps. So place perhaps between the sentences, in the middle, between, or at the end. The same, appear, hardly, majority, could, likely. Okay, so let's do it.
Me metieron torta, hubieras ido. Pero estoy en clase todavía. Ya va a terminar. Esa rosa artificial. Puta, qué miserable. A $1 sale eso. Javier. Sí, Javier. Oye, no, tu papá ya va a llegar, dijo. Anda, vayan a comer entre los dos su cuarto. Se va a pegar.
¿Tu papá va a llegar? Pero vos no me dijiste que iba a venir a comer. No va a alcanzar. Está comiendo allá contigo.
Más cautios. Mamá. 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 No te vayas, mamá. 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 Yo soy Iron Man y tú Iron Man. Papi. Papá. Javier. Pero dile quién es el baboso.
Okay, volunteers to participate, raise your hands.
Me too. The 1, 2.
Okay, Clarita, 1, 2. Other people, this is your last opportunity to work. Okay, let's call. Okay, we didn't speak much today. Okay, Camila, you can do 3, 4. And let me see. Maria Jose, you can do 5, 6. Okay, Clarita, 1, 2.
Okay. Perhaps the most important global trend is the increase in income inequality. Number 2, the rise in global temperatures appears to be caused by humans.
Okay, good job. Yes, that's correct. Continue.
Le grita ahí.
Okay. Teacher, do you hear me?
Yes, you can continue.
Okay. Number 3, people generally live for longer now because their diets are pretty healthier. And number 4, majority of
graduates get better jobs than people who don't go to college. Sorry.
Okay, good. Next one.
Okay, teacher. Maybe for me, school, schools, could start closing because of the risk of online learning, and increase. I know, teacher. I know the one the last.
Then I add that to
Okay.
salchicha.
Yes. Let's show you the answer because it's nearly time to finish. Now, you have two possibilities. For example, in number one, you can begin with perhaps, or you can place perhaps after the verb to be. Now, in two, you also have two options. Appears to be caused, or you can begin humans appear to have caused. So there is more change in number two. Okay, the other options are the same, so just one option. Okay, guys, now with this we finish the lesson. Next class, the exam is at 2 o'clock. You cannot be late, Héctor. 2 en punto, el examen comienza. Solo voy a mandar el examen una vez. Si usted llegó tarde, pues va a tener 0, ¿no? Especialmente en plataforma Richmond, que se pone el examen una y se envía directamente. Entonces, computadoras cargadas o sus celulares, pero ustedes saben, si dan por celular ya, si algún problema sucede, eso cuenta por ustedes. Yo no voy a resolver ningún problema si dan por celular. Okay. Su batería también llévense, no se olviden llevar audífonos para escuchar el audio. And that's it. Okay, entonces 2 en punto ya tienen que estar todos ahí para recibir su examen escrito. El examen escrito no es más de 50 minutos porque ya dieron la composición, que la composición son 20, entonces ya son ahí 70, ¿no? Probablemente este 55. Luego de eso tomo los exámenes orales. Exámenes orales y notas finales. Okay? Okay, guys, before you leave, I'm going to take a picture, so cameras on everybody. Wait, please. I need to check participants. Okay, guys. Okay, so it was nice to see you. See you next class. Bye-bye, guys. See you.
Bye, teacher.
Bye, guys.
Bye, teacher.